All right, so today we are breaking generational abuse. Again, we're following our spirits. We're getting to the root of our issues here. So we're going to break generational abuse today. I was physically, spiritually, emotionally, socially, and mentally abused as a child. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done, but I'm doing this for myself and to show my children how easy something is that you really think is so difficult to do. Doing this, I feel like I'm betraying my mother. So I hope you guys can see the hold of narcissistic, sociopathic people on your lives. And we can go from there. So again, we're taking a stand, being brave today, showing my children how easy it is to do something that you fucking mentally thought was so difficult. I have tried working things out with my mom throughout the years in my adult life, so I have tried addressing this. But with someone of this nature who I'm about to go into describing, if you have someone like this in your life, you will understand what I'm saying. I don't need to explain myself. So I've tried working out with her many times, and it was always cut off short with immediate, reflecting back to me, and then me having to apologize first for things as a child that I probably didn't even do, So that never worked. So we're going to address it. So, if it was never addressed and never admitted to, and, then it cannot be healed. It cannot be closed, and that chapter cannot be finished, and the new chapter cannot be written. So where do we go from here? Last time I spoke with her, she was bashing my brother. This was a few years ago. This is after my brother is taking care of all his siblings for free. Come on, how are you gonna bash my brother? But just that's how she is. She bashes people. She talks behind their back. She said I was faking. Originally, when I had my TBI, and my family, my brother and my sister and my brother-in-law came down and moved me because I wasn't physically capable or able to do anything. They came down, got all my shit, got me physically, threw me in the vehicle, and I was supposed to move into my mom's house. Well, I get there, so she's, said I was faking. You could tell she didn't want me there, so I had to go. And my brother and sister worked things out so that way. So us siblings have been there for each other and taken care of each other, regardless of my mother and all the problems she has caused in the family. Again, even before I cut her off years ago after she started bashing my brother again. Like I said, I just finally cut her off. I had enough, and I had no unnecessary drama in my life after that. When I did have a relationship, something was, everything was always my fault. It was, that's how it was since I was a child. It just, severe shame, guilt, never ends, never about anything and everything. No matter what time of my life I was in, with my children's, Brandon and Sammy's mom, we actually loved each other. Our first few years of being together was, great. We were kids, but, we loved each other. And the only time that we would ever have problems was when my mom would get involved, and she'd get involved constantly. So it caused problems in my first marriage. It caused problems throughout my adult life. Again, like I said, I tried addressing it with her. She's still holding control now. She's still, we both have relationship with family members, and she is living a lie and deceit, and so this just has to end. Otherwise, I have to cut more people off, which is fine, because we're growing. We're like snakes getting its shin. We're growing right now, or butterfly, however you want to say it. So yeah, that is sort of how my adult relationship has always gone with my mom, and that's why I cut her off finally. And I realized today when I was writing when I realized I had to do this, and I was writing these notes here, that when I was writing these notes down, I thought about this, what I just said. Every time she would just call me out of the blue, my life was great, and all of a sudden it just got up in it. It was like a concussion. It felt like a concussion. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to heal all these different aspects. And the thing is see, like, you know, I have kids and she's their grandmother, and not only I cut her off, but in that she punished my kids and just cut them off. I guess it's very strange. And then all of a sudden this past year sent my youngest son Aiden, who she's really never had any type of relationship with, a birthday card, and he's just like, why, what's going on? And so we're going to end all this confusion, because again, even though I cut her off, and I still send her Mother's Day cards. I've forgiven her. I love my mother. I'd love to have a relationship with her again. I'd love to have her back in my kids' lives, but not like this. And I can't even have her far away in my life because she's, still obviously affecting it. Okay, so just to give you guys a history as a child, I did run away 3 times. At 12, I was 12, and I took my brother with me at that time. My brother was 10, and we ran away to my stepdad's. And then I ran away at 14, and then I ran away at 16. When I ran away at 16, nobody, everybody, see, this is the thing, everybody kept this abuse hidden. Nobody knew all of this abuse, but a lot of people knew a lot of this abuse, especially church people, pastors, my stepdad, all religious people too. They all swept it under the rug in the name of religion and keeping the name of the church and everything looking hairy-carry and good. And, it's just very, very sickening. People would let a child get abused and cover it up. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't remember the first time I was physically abused. The spiritual, emotional, mental abuse started before that, because I first remember the manipulating, lying, using religion as a tool. I remember watching her abuse my stepdad and lie. Like I said, I think he took off probably when I was 12 or right before, 11 maybe. And he knew how bad it was. That's why he came and, me and my brother ran away, and he came and picked us up at the bottom of the mountain. And he tried to keep us, but back then, a lot of kids were getting smacked around. I mean, you get smacked around all the time. This wasn't that wasn't the kind of abuse I'm talking about, just getting smacked around. I'm talking about serious abuse. But I used to watch her abuse my stepdad and lie, and turning around, call the cops and say, he hit her and all this. And, so yeah, my mom would, the physical abuse on me did not start until my stepdad left. So it didn't start till I was probably 11. I don't remember the first time. That's how, I guess, how dramatic it was. Uh, but like I said, she used to beat on my stepdad. So when he was gone, I took his place. The way religion played into this again, I mean, I was beat so bad before my stepdad left. I had black eyes. I've had, bloody lips, busted cheeks, just beat up. And you got to go to church. And, so I've been, you get taken in a secret meeting to the pastor, and then you got to lie to everybody and your cousins and your friends about what happened to you, when really it was your mom that beat you up. So yeah, that happened, not every day, not all the time, but it happened, several times. Covered up. That was while my stepdad was there. And then once he left, like I said, then it was on me. And anytime she needed a punching bag or somebody to kick and scream at and yell, and it was me. And get told, because then when he left, my stepdad left, God was her husband now. So now my mom was married directly. She had a relationship directly with God. So now there was, because when my stepdad was there, she used to tell him to beat me all the time, me and my brother. And he would take us in a room, and maybe smack us with a couple times on the ass with a belt, but then, hit the bed or something and have us scream. So, that was nice. But once he left, then she was able to make sure that punishment was actually meted out, There was no more pretending. And it was all, so yeah, once he left, it was all in the name of God too. That's where the whole religion aspect, really got twisted. Because, before, I could see how much religion was bullshit and all the lies, and how people just used it as a tool. And people who were afraid, and, lazy people, and you name it. But I was able to still maintain a relationship with the God that they had taught me about, right? It just, I guess, in my soul, I was still able to have a communication there. But once I found out that God was now her husband, and now when I was being beaten and told I was going to hell, and that I was lying when I wasn't, I became hateful of that God that she was married to, because he was very mean and spiteful and neurotic and crazy and a liar, because it was his word against mine. And I knew if I said or did something, and if I said I didn't, I knew I didn't. And, so that sucks. So I'd be beaten, physically beaten. And, again, this is physical abuse, emotional abuse. So this all ties in, to your emotions, spiritual. I've had to come a long way. I'm good now. I am not afraid of death. Not at all. I am afraid of living incapacitated like a vegetable. I am afraid of living in a lie, continuing to live in a lie, and not making things better in my life when I know I can. I am afraid of that, but I'm not afraid to die, and I'm not afraid of what happens when I die at all. And in fact, I look forward to it. But obviously I don't want to die, because I still feel like I have a huge mission, and this is a big part of it. But yeah, this needs to come out, mainly for me. Yeah. And then, I was grounded for years. I was grounded for like 2 years. I mean, it was crazy. It was nuts. It was bad. And we lived on a mountain. I was kept socially like trapped. It was weird. I mean, very strange behavior for an adult to do to their child. Um, and at 16, I got away, and when I did, I was able to get to my aunt's house, and my mom was threatening again. She was like, I'll get the cops there. He's my kid. You got to give him back. And my aunt said, look, because I didn't tell anybody. I mean, this is very hard to talk about. As a kid, to tell somebody that, yeah, you remember seeing me all those times beat up? That wasn't me fighting. That was, I mean, some of it was maybe, but yeah, my mom whipped my ass constantly and told me I was going to hell my whole life. Fucking weird, man. But yeah, so, it never got addressed, and abusive people will continue to abuse, guys. They will continue to abuse because she continues to, whether she knows it or not, that abuse continues to reverberate down through, whether it be through family members not knowing the truth and coming from wrong perspectives, people continuing to use religion as a vicious tool to manipulate and control and tell everybody else they're going to hell. And yeah, just basically to control and manipulate people. And people like that, you may think they love you, but they don't. They only care about being in control and manipulating in their status and what they have tried to accomplish and control. Otherwise, these things would have been addressed. These things would have been addressed. And especially as an adult, I did try taking care of them, like I said, but anytime I would even begin to mention anything, it was always completely turned on me. And the one thing I've realized as an adult and having children is that that's not how I treat my kids. I mean, I don't come to them and expect them to adult me. I'm supposed to adult my kids. Even with my 23-year-old, I make sure that I try to make sure that I'm being at least more of an adult and mature than he is. I try to anyways, and that's hard to do because he's very mature. But yeah, guys, this is important. Another step, I told you. I mean, this is no joke. We're not fucking around here. We're getting better. Guys, don't let people control you. You control your fucking life. Either you control it or somebody else does. And if you got somebody like what I just described, somebody who says they love you, but constantly makes you feel guilty and shameful and nasty every single time you deal with them, and constantly you figure out they're controlling you, and you gotta fucking call it out, guys. You gotta get rid of it. Otherwise, you're gonna be 42 like me and sitting here and fucking still getting, now having to deal with this. Like I said, I tried dealing with it in my 20s, probably 30s too, at several different times throughout my 20s and 30s, probably with my mom. And so now I'm 42 and I'm having to put her on blast. And, like I said, I love her. Maybe this is what she needs to heal. Maybe she needs to get her story out there. I don't know. But this is what I needed. And I know I need to show my kids how easy it is to do something that you think is difficult. Something that you put off for 30 years doing because of how difficult you thought it would be. And look, you can end up doing it with a smile on your face, and you're okay. All right, guys, I love y'all.